Good morning, Golden Hawks, and welcome to the second episode ever of Rule Talk. I'm Miss Cecil, your principal.
And I'm Mrs. Madrigal, your assistant principal.
And we'll be your anchors today for the second episode of Rule Talk. Now, before we get down to business and talk about your favorite topic and ours, rules, I thought maybe I would introduce myself or reintroduce myself to you, given that I took a little vacation last year to heal from back surgery. As I said before, I'm Miss Cecil, the principal, and I don't know if you know this, but I actually graduated from El Dorado High School. When I was a student here, I was involved in ASB, dance team, choir, and theater. I went to Chapman University for my bachelor's degree, my teaching credential, and my master's degree, and I completed a certification program to be a principal at Cal State Fullerton. I am a true Golden Hawk through and through and have grown up in this district.
And I'm Mrs. Madrigal, and I will also reintroduce myself as I was out last year birthing a child. I was a graduate of Esperanza High School. You can stop booing now. I went to Cal State Fullerton where I ran cross country and track. I got an English degree, and I taught at Valencia High School for 15 years and was also the athletic director there. This is my third year as an El Dorado Golden Hawk, and I couldn't be prouder.
Oh, which reminds me, where we first met when we were young little baby teachers. We have one of those this year. She knows who she is. We met when we were teachers at Valencia High School. I too was an English teacher, and this is my 10th year at El Dorado. Well, are you ready to get down to business? Let's talk about the rules. First, we're going to begin by talking about counselors.
The counselors are here to support you as well as the administration. The counselors are Miss Armstrong, Miss Carvelli, and Mrs. Camposano. If you need to see your counselor, please come to the counseling office and fill out an orange half sheet in order to make an appointment to see your counselor. As far as attendance goes, most of you know the routine, but some of you may need a refresher. If you need to be excused during the school day, you know to simply drop your note in the box in the attendance office on your way to class in the morning, and then pick up your slip in the attendance office on your way out. Make sure to clear all absences.
ID cards. You remember that glamorous, super awesome-tastic picture that you took at back to school days? Or maybe you refused to come because you were vacationing in the Bahamas or skiing in a meadow in Antarctica? Well, it turns out that we had you take that picture for a reason. Please carry your ID card with you everywhere. Please present it in the library, present it when using computers in any of the computer labs, when you purchase something in the finance office, or any other time someone asks you for your identification. That's the way we keep you safe and we keep us safe. Think of it like a driver's license. Don't leave home without it.
And next, the health office. If you're not feeling well and you need to see our health clerk, please ask your teacher to be released from class. You can come to the health office and call your parent. And Miss Cecil is dying over here. What's going on?
I'm not feeling well. Where should I go?
Oh, you should go to the health office.
Can I just leave my class anytime I want and walk right up there?
Nope, you need to get permission from your teacher.
Mr. Switzer, may I go to the health office? Sure, Miss Cecil. Thank you. Dances. We had a first dance of the year, the Aloha Dance, and there were approximately 1,103 and a half of you present at the dance. I say half because there was one person who came in shortly and then left, and I'm not really sure why. The key thing to remember at dances is to have your ID with you and to remember that the dress code and all other school policies are enforced. We don't like having to kick people out of events. We create them for you. We want you to come and have a good time. The most disrespectful thing that happens is when people deliberately defy the rules and we have to ask you to leave a school event. Come to dances. Be safe. Bring friends. Dress appropriately. Behave appropriately. And we'll be glad to dance the night away right alongside you.
All rules apply everywhere, not just at dances, but at all school events. So just keep that in mind. If you're attending a school event, perhaps off campus, school rules still apply.
So when I go to a football game, does that mean I can't wear super short shorts and a short shirt that doesn't cover my very svelte, tiny, skinny tummy?
Correct. The dress code still applies.
Even at a football game?
Even at a football game.
Even at a football game.
Cell phones. Some of you may need a reminder regarding the cell phone rules. With cell phones, they can only be on during break, lunch, and after school, unless instructed by your teacher to use your device. Ms. Cecil, let's talk about bring your own device.
So this year, the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District, of which El Dorado High School is a part, being the best high school in the district, is allowing students to BYOD, bring your own device. What that means is, at your own risk, you're able to bring a laptop, bring an iPad, bring your cell phone, and to use it for educational purposes. So does that mean that you can just use it whenever you want?
No, it doesn't.
Of course not. It's school after all, and there are rules. The very reason we're making this video. Please consult your individual teachers for their particular rules about when you may or may not use the device, your own device, that you have brought to school. Let's go back to the dress code. My favorite mantra when it comes to dress code is this, El Dorado. Keep it classy and sassy. Wait, was that right?
No, I don't think so.
Keep it sassy but classy. That means you can have style, you can express yourself as an individual, something you weren't allowed to do at all from what I hear in middle school. You can do that in high school, you have to do it appropriately. What that means is you can't have any shirts depicting nude men or women, advertising drugs or alcohol. You may not wear any clothing that shows your undergarments. That applies to both gentlemen and ladies. For example, let's say that you wore a tank top with a giant cutout armpit because you just happen to have the best armpits in Placentia. Is that acceptable?
No.
No, and the reason it's not acceptable is not because you don't have wonderful armpits, it's because we don't want to see your undergarments. So whether that means ladies wearing a bandeau or gentlemen just showing off their latest muscles from the summer, that is not allowed. You may also not wear tops that are strapless, shorts or dresses that are too short, or anything that might be associated with gang or other illegal behavior. When it comes to dress code, I have to tell you, it's our least favorite thing to enforce. There are a few of us and nearly 2,000 of you. And what we're met with often is, it's not fair. So-and-so over there is wearing short shorts. That guy over there is showing off his armpits. You're right, sometimes life isn't fair. The fact is, ask yourself, is what I'm wearing appropriate based upon the rules? And if you're not sure of the rules, visit the student handbook online at www.edhs.org under the tab Students.
Thank you, Ms. Cecil. Next, we're going to talk about Saturday schools. Occasionally, you'll receive a notice from Mr. Myers in attendance regarding Saturday schools. Perhaps you have an uncleared absence or excessive tardies. Please do not simply dispose of these notices. For every Saturday school that you miss, the hours are then doubled. For you seniors who continue to ignore your hours, you will lose senior privileges, including dances, parking permits, off-campus lunch, and other senior activities. So please, if you need to clear an absence, see Mr. Myers. Don't wait for the Saturday school notice.
Golf carts. You may have noticed in the past year we came into some extra money or extra donations, and we've now acquired more golf carts. While it breaks my little heart to tell you no, you can't ride on the golf cart, I'm going to tell you now. No, you can't ride on the golf cart. So please don't ask the campus supervisors or the custodians or one of us hobbling along. I guess we wouldn't be hobbling if we were on a golf cart. Driving along if we can give you a ride. The reason for that is that there's a liability involved should you fall off the golf cart, flip off the golf cart, or otherwise be thrown from the moving vehicle. And quite honestly, we're not willing to assume that liability. So unless you're injured or there's an emergency, you will not be riding on a golf cart. Join Alta Vista Golf Club, perhaps, and consider riding on one of their golf carts. They should pay me for that advertisement. Whoa! I just got hit in the face by a hawk!
Miss Cecil. Well, anyway, while Miss Cecil has appearing signs and she's hitting herself with them, let's talk about boundaries for those of you who stay on campus during lunch, which would be everyone but seniors, perhaps. Have you noticed those red lines on the ground? Those are not painted just merely for your entertainment. That is to indicate a boundary line in which you should not cross during break and lunch. And speaking of boundaries, just so you know, if you're caught out of bounds, meaning off campus at lunch when you're not supposed to be, you will be issued a Saturday school.
So I heard that on the baseball field, there's a water fountain that has the coldest water on campus. If I'm really, really super duper thirsty on an extra hot day, can I just cruise out to the baseball field to get a sip of that delicious water in the midst of the California drought?
I don't know, in this heat, it sounds great, but not a good idea.
Why not?
You'll be out of bounds.
So I have to stay on the concrete where it's hot and there's no shade?
Yes, unfortunately. But we do have new tables with umbrellas.
Harsh, but those are the rules. Speaking of harsh, you may have noticed moments ago I was struck by this hawk sign. Struck, in fact, to the point that it reminded me this is what we're all about. At the core of all of our rules, whether it's dress code, cell phones, attendance procedures, behaving at dances, keeping it sassy but classy, this is who we want you to be. We want you to be honorable. We want you to be academic achievers. We want you to be well-rounded. We want you to be knowledge-seeking. And we want you to be service-oriented. This year, we're going to have a great year, El Dorado. Stay Hawk strong. Stay anchored. We are El Dorado.
Hawks.
Hawks.